up, y'all? It's another day. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Finally got the break in on the XClutch Stage 2, so let's give it a little rip right now. Traction control off. It grabs. Yeah, that was, what was that? 75 miles an hour? About 72 miles an hour in second gear there. 72 miles an hour. I don't know, because my mile per hour is off with this car due to the 19-inch wheels, but it's grabbing pretty dang good. Let's do it. Let's give it another rip right here and hope that there's no cops down there. All right, let's do 40. Okay, that's about 72, 6,500 RPMs, and it grabbed perfect. Grabbed perfect. So there's a little, let me turn this off so you can probably hear me better. There we go. I love that little switch. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to first talk about how it shifts into gear each time. Then I'm gonna move on and talk about how it takes off in first gear and the modulation in between that. And then from there, I'm gonna talk about how the stiffness is with the clutch, even though I've talked about it before, but not in this actual video. And then I'm going to move on to talking about how the clutch grabs in every single gear and what I think of that, and if it feels like it's taken the power with my IS38 stage 2, whatever you want to call it, IS38 custom tune. I'm currently on the 87 octane tune, but I also have a 91 octane tune as well, or a couple of those. And then I'm going to talk about how it downshifts, meaning like how it heel toes into each gear and how it rev matches in each gear. And then from there, I'll talk about the revs itself. So I'll cover all those points in this video. All right, as you can suspect with any single clutch that you drive, if your transmission is fine and your clutch is fine, it gets into gear fine. And with this red line oil, let's see, it's about 67 degrees outside right now here in Arizona, and it has no issue getting into gear. I've had no grinding issues like I was with the last clutch with the South Bend Stage 3 Endurance, mated with the Motul fluid in the transmission. So every gear change is perfect. It works flawlessly as it should. If your transmission and your clutch are working fine, then you should have no issue getting into gear. So let's work our way towards the next talking point, and that's going to be how it gets off in first gear. So the clutch pedal, because it is lighter, it's a little easier to modulate on a takeoff from a stop. And it's easier to like I could just let it out without putting any force on the gas pedal. I could just let the clutch out slowly and the car will go on its own, which is really nice. So it's very predictable. As far as if this is all the way down right there, I would say the grabbing point right now is about here. So it's about down, is all the way down right there, clutch depressed, and the grabbing point is about right there. So it's a good couple inches, 2 or 3 inches from the ground where the grabbing point is, and I like that because it makes me confident in the clutch itself when I'm actually modulating it. Now when I hit that grabbing point, I can feel that if you let it out too fast, then you're obviously going to stall and you're not giving it enough gas. So you can tell that it's an aftermarket clutch in that retrospect, and it's not an OEM one, because even though the OEM clutch pedal stiffness is very similar, the OEM one is very forgiving in that regard. So you can like let it out pretty fast and you'll be able to grab with the OEM one, because it's just made for the everyday person. This one definitely, at that grabbing point right here, it definitely, you have to know how to modulate the clutch and the gas pedal so that you don't stall. You have to pay attention to it. You can't just like nonchalantly do it. So I'll do it right here, barely on it. So I did a little bit of a buck right there, but that's fine. So you have to know how it modulates. But as far as the stiffness, it's a lot easier than the South Bend Stage 3 Endurance and the DKM Stage 2 clutches that I've had before, because it's not as stiff. I would say it's probably, I mean, it's definitely not OEM. It's not OEM light, but it's not DKM Stage 2 or South Bend Stage 3 Endurance or any of the other kits as far as like how heavy it is. It's not that heavy. So I'd probably say it's like 10 to 15% stiffer than the OEM clutch. All right, so I think I've talked about that. I had to park here and I'm parked here to do a job right now, waiting for them to come out with some stuff. But so yeah, so it's definitely not like stock, but it's definitely not as stiff as like most of the other clutch kits out there, which I personally didn't mind how stiff they were, but I know a lot of you guys do mind that, which is partly why a lot of people go for the TTRS kit with the dual mass flywheel, because number one, they don't like the clutch chatter sound. Number two, they want to keep it like an OEM feel. So I really like the XClutch Stage 2. I don't know about any of their other stages, but as far as the Stage 2 is concerned, it's really great. I really highly recommend it if you want a stiffer than OEM, but not so stiff where you're gonna get a leg workout. All right, so I was able to grab that. Now let's get this job going. Get this customer's order delivered, and then I can get back onto this review here of the clutch. All right, so let's talk about how it grabs in each gear. That was second, and it grabs fine, and there's no signs of any slipping anywhere. It almost feels like my turbo is boosting quicker, like 500 RPMs quicker. I know it's not. I know it has nothing to do with the turbo, but because my clutch is grabbing so well right now, it feels like the boost is coming on sooner. So I don't know if my South Bend Stage 3 Endurance was just not hooking like it should have been, and it's in the time when before the slave obviously went kaboom. But this one's brand new and it feels great, and it grabs in every single gear. Like, I feel like I gained like 10 horsepower just from getting a new clutch. So it's really nice. Like, that's fifth right there. I'm not going very fast, but you know, it grabs. I can definitely feel that the clutch is doing its job. It's grabbing just fine, and its rated torque is definitely holding what I'm pushing in this car. And on an 87 octane tune, I'm probably only putting out like 390 foot-pounds of torque, 380, something like that, I'm assuming. I don't really know. Never had a dyno, especially on this tune. But yeah, like, I just started off first there, second gear, great, get on it, boosting, IS-38's boosting at like 2,800 RPMs right now, which is like just fine. You know, I do miss the IS-20 on how that one boosts so fast, but it's very peaky. Like, the IS-20 is so peaky in torque that I don't know. This one definitely puts out more power, but the IS-20 has a much higher peak of torque, a lot faster than the IS-38. So both of them, you know, wear on the clutches in their own way, but they're both fun. Like, I enjoy the IS-38's power and stuff like that, but I enjoy the IS-20 and how it boosts it so fast. A couple downshifts here. Some heel toes. Some heel toes. Let's do this. So So yeah, that's great. Everything's good on it, hooking. It feels great. It feels like a great clutch. So let's talk about the downshifts in the clutch. So I'll get onto this street right up here, and I'll intentionally do some downshifts, some heel toes, and some rev matching, and I'll flip my my exhaust on so that you can hear it better on the camera. All right, so there's not much traffic. I'll just put it into like 5th gear up here, and then I'll just intentionally go down a couple shifts. So I'm in 5th, I'm going 45 right now. I'll just go to 4th. Perfect. Now the 3rd to 2nd's still tough because it revs so fast, and I want to talk about that too because of the lighter flywheel and just the altogether lighter kit itself over the South Bend Stage 3 Endurance. It was almost 5 pounds lighter than that one, and I think most of that weight came from the flywheel area. It definitely revs up a lot faster, so it's hard to get that. It's hard to match it, is what I'm saying. So I'm going to be making a right turn right up here, and I'll do some heel toes. I'm in 4th gear right now. Do this. Oh, that was bad. My foot slipped. 3rd to 2nd. Yeah, it's tough. I'm still, and I also have these big clunky shoes on right now, so they're just not great for heel toeing. My little cross trainers. So yeah, not the greatest for heel toeing. So, but it's still tough even with my normal shoes that aren't so big and clunky. I have size 14 feet too, so my feet just don't generally work great for heel toe because of that. So I'm in 3rd now. I'll just do a little heel toe right here. I was 3rd to 2nd, so that wasn't bad. Not perfect, but not bad. Ironically, I do a lot better with the heel toe when I'm actually driving really aggressive. When I'm driving putt-putt like I am right now for work, it's not as easy because when I'm driving aggressive, I'm in a higher RPM all the time. So it just seems like I can heel toe and rev match a lot better and a lot faster. Well, actually, here's a good time to talk about how it does on a heel, which I wasn't planning to talk about, but since I'm on like a 30% grade heel right now, and I'm heading up, see how it does here. It does just fine. Like I didn't even roll back really. And because of the pedal being closer to stock in stiffness, it's easier to like modulate on the hill, especially compared to the DKM Stage 2 and the South Bend Stage 3 Endurance that I had. Those were a lot heavier, and you know, when you're on a heel, they weren't like crazy hard, but like because of how stiff the clutch was, as well as the grabbing point was like you had to be alert. You had to be alert or it was just going to stall right on you. So they were harder on heels. This one was pretty easy. Well, let's get back to the rev matching here. I'm in 5th gear, going about 47, 48 miles an hour, and I'll rev match down to 4th and 3rd gear. Here we go. That 4th was okay, 3rd was good. Now I'll go down to 2nd from 3rd. That was a good one. So it's still taking me a little bit to get used to the rev matches, only because number one, I'm not driving aggressively, so it's just harder to do it when I'm just driving normal. Like this is pretty boring speeds, and when it's boring, I'm pretty lazy with my feet. And also I'm wearing big clunky shoes, and then I just need to drive aggressive to be better at it. But I'll put it into 4th gear and I'll do some heel toe coming up to this stoplight up here, and gonna see how I perform on the heel toe from fourth to third, and then from third to second here. So here we go. That was okay. Now we'll go third to second here. Yeah, it's just harder, man. These shoes just are not meant for this. I'm just being lazy, but because it revs up so fast, I still have to get used to it. I was able to get it pretty spot on with any driving condition on my South Bend Stage 3 endurance clutch. With this one, it just revs up a lot faster, so I'm definitely going to have a lot of driving time, a good week or so, into doing it and wearing better shoes and probably being a little more aggressive with my driving. Between all those, I'll definitely be able to do better, and I'll have some future videos on that. But I'm gonna say that overall, I really like this clutch. Now that it's finally working, it's great. Everything about it is great. I love it. It grabs hard. It shifts fine. The pedal modulation is great and predictable. The pedal is not very stiff, so it's easy to live with, and also predictable on the road in uphills and stuff like that, regular day driving. So everything's great, and it revs faster, which is great. Feels a little more race car, I guess, with the revs. So I really enjoy it. I give it an A+. Just make sure that you use the throwout bearing / slave cylinder that comes in the kit, and don't use an OEM one. That's for the Mark 7. And make sure all your other components, like your clutch master cylinder, your brake master cylinder, your bleeder block, your rear main cylinder, make sure all that is good to go when you do the clutch, and it should be fine. So I'm having no issues with it. It's great. Highly recommend. Go on to BMP Tuning's website and check it out and see if this clutch is available, because it's a really good price. It holds a lot of torque. And yeah, it's great. So I'm gonna do one little rip here before I end this video, and then I'll just end it from there. So let's do a second gear pull here. Yeah, that was crap. Sorry guys, that was crap. I swear I'm not that bad of a manual driver. All right, here we go. 43 miles an hour. That's only on 22 PSI on an 87 octane tune. I was spinning tires at 64 miles an hour still. I don't even know how much torque I'm making with this 87 octane tune, but I know I'm only hitting 22 PSI on it. I know that for sure, so it can't be that much torque. Probably around 380, 390, 400 foot-pounds of torque, so not a lot, but I do have one wheel peel on this car, so that obviously affects the spinning. But yeah, it grabs great. So I'm gonna leave it there. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all your likes, all your dislikes, all your comments, all your subscriptions, and if you are interested in watching any more